Next, we're going to talk about the file. And really, my experience over the last 6, 7 years in seller financing comes down to what I've gathered here. The 10% down, that's money. People have it or they don't. People have a job or they don't. But what we want to do here is present your file, your situation, your story to a seller to get a seller to say yes. So let's talk about the things that you need to have in your file that will work with you to present an offer. First, the down payment, 10% down minimum. Second is your job. We're going to need to get verification of employment. You've got a job, you've got income coming in the door, or a worthy risk to entertain seller financing. I understand that most people don't like to have their credit pulled. It's very important in this situation that we pull your credit. When we look at the credit report, we begin to create an overall story of your situation. We look at the background. At the end of the day, we're going to know whether or not you buckle your seatbelt. That's not going to be important for qualifying for a home, but it is important for a seller to know the risks that they're taking. And if there's anything on there that needs to be explained, trust me, a letter to the seller explaining what's going on will be or should be sufficient enough to overcome many of those things. We're going to verify your debt to income. Part of that process is meeting with a loan officer and looking to obtain a conditional letter of approval. That letter of approval is going to be our ace in the hole. It's going to be what we can give to a seller to say, look, you as a buyer, you're in a position where you can't go get a bank loan right now, but that's okay, because in the next few years, you're going to be able to go and get your own bank loan. Because most sellers are only willing to carry financing for the next 3 to 5 years, it's important that we get you into a position where you're going to be able to go and get your own bank loan. And lastly, we're going to ask for referrals or recommendations. Typically, if you're a good person, you're going to be able to refer us to a few people that can recommend you and your character. One of my favorites, and I've had this a couple of times, is a buyer that actually recommends an ex-spouse. If for some reason there's a divorce that's taken place, but you can get a recommendation from an ex-spouse, that's a pretty strong recommendation in my book. So those are a few of the things that we're going to do, or those are the things that we're going to do to create your file. That file, included with that, will be real estate paperwork and an offer that we're going to shoot over to the seller or to the seller's agents and present the offer for you to do seller financing. So those are the things that we're looking for. If you made it this far, you've got the 10% down. And at this point, it's a good time to consider contacting us and sitting down with us, going through your specific situation, making sure that you feel like your questions have been answered. And beyond this, we're going to start to talk about what's next in the process.